What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be the Smite ranked Conquest tier list for Season 8. This is going to be the first tier list of Season 8, so I'm scrapping everything. All this tier list from Season 7 and backwards are going to be gone. I would 100% be starting over with this tier list. There's a lot to explain, a lot to go over, a lot of changes, at least balance-wise, to a lot of these heroes. And a lot of items got shifted, and we got new items in the game. The entire Conquest map is 100% different, pretty much. Got an entirely new Conquest map. Everybody's ranks got reset, so everybody is now by default trying to climb from bronze. So, before I do get into this, though, if you guys want me to do some more of these tier lists, and you want me to continue doing these Smite type tier lists, let me know by leaving a like. If you're new and viewing my channel for the first time, hit that subscribe button down below. Really appreciate it. And share the video, really helps me out. I really appreciate it, guys. All the support's been 100% insane. If you're not here for Smite and you're just clicking on the video just because you want to support me, thanks. But Paladins got Season 4 coming out this next week. I will 100% be doing videos for that. Rogue Company Season 1 officially going up this next week as well. A lot of videos on the way, guys. Just hang tight. I also got a huge surprise for you guys that's really going to upgrade the quality of my videos. I'm still just trying to work on the settings and get it all 100% good. So expect some really cool videos coming up here in about the next week or two. So apart from that, I'm going to get right into this. You guys know the deal. Now there's going to be a lower to mid-ranked tier list because everybody right now is a hard reset. If you were like Grandmasters or Masters last season, then you're probably already back up into those, like around about maybe mid-diamond, stuff like that. But at least for me, I'm around about a silver to like maybe a high tier gold, low plat player. This is going to be for your lower to more mid-rank type tier list. This is not, and I repeat, not a pro tier list. I am not a pro. I'm just a veteran player that has like 1,500 hours in the game. So keep that in mind. It's not console specific. It can be console, PC. Nothing's really changed. I think they're pretty much both the same at this point. Everybody's trying to learn the game. Everything's new. So also keep in mind that the tier list, because we're on a new Conquest map and everything is still pretty new, people really don't know how to 100% play and know really what the best sets or everything is currently. So keep that in mind as well when taking into consideration this tier list. Apart from that, it's 100% opinionated. If you guys not agree with me on something, let me know in the comments down below. All I ask of you guys is watch the entire video and watch me explain everything and talk about everything before you go and comment down below. That's all I ask. We're going to get right into this. For some reason, Danzaburo is not on this list. He's actually in ranked now, guys. For some reason, I don't have the icon of him. This white website's fucking stupid and it doesn't update the website for every, like, I don't know, they only update it like once or twice a year for some reason. I don't know. The newest god I still have on this list, for at least for this website, is Tsukiomi. They never even put Danzaburo on this list. But if I'm in post editing, I'm writing myself right now to put either some text or something on screen to remind people that Danzaburo is going to be an SS. Danzaburo right now is probably the best hunter in the game. He's in ranked, guys. If you're playing ranked, if you're playing like mid to low, or you're at least trying to climb, you pick, say, if you're playing carry and you want like your best at carry or whatever, and you want to play over in duel, you pick Danzaburo. Either you pick him or ban him. Like, he's a legit pick or ban. The guy is so overtuned. It's like honestly fucking laughable, bro. Like level 5, you hit level 5 and you pretty much Oko pretty much everybody. Like either I think the other carry or you take Oko mid lane. Like if you get dove, you just hop into your rocket and you run away. He has way too much survivability. He's able to go into a leaf. You can actually dive a tower, which I think is really fucking broken. You can dive a tower, and you can pretty much before you die, go into your leaf form and run away as a leaf, and the tower will not target you, and you'll be able to escape at like 5 health. When anybody else that can dive a tower by themselves and can't get out before they're about to die, they can't do that. So he's able to kill towers by himself if he really wants to, as long as he doesn't get dove at low health. Like, I don't know, his rocket is fucking silent. Like, I don't know about you guys, but every time I try going against a Danzaburo and he somehow gets through bans, it's almost impossible to know when he's going to be going into his rocket because it's absolutely silent. They need some indicator to whether he's inside the rocket or if the rocket is being launched at you. Like, even then, even both of them, the sound on his rocket needs to be upgraded like tenfold. Like, it's legit fucking silent. He throws out a rocket, you can just zoom it through the jungle at somebody, and then before it's done, you hit somebody and they don't even know that you're going to be hitting them because it's so silent. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm playing like against like an assassin when he's supposed to be a fucking hunter, bro. The guy is way overtuned. Like I said, he's SS fucking broken. This next patch, they need to scale his damage back. They need to give some quality of life reworks to his leaf form or whatever it is, where you can turn into a leaf and be damage immune. After having the attack speed boost and that AOE that he puts up. Like, the only thing I think about him that really isn't broken is exploding like coins or whatever the fuck they are. I think that's like the only thing that really isn't bad about him. Like, everything else, he also has a CC that like none of the other hunters really have. You're able to throw out I think it's like a wine bottle, whatever the fuck it is. Throw that out, and then pretty much it CCs people, I think, for a solid 1.5 seconds. In that time, you're usually dead. So if you don't have enough time, especially like a bulky type warrior or like a guardian that can't get out of the way in time and get CC'd by that, you take about half your damage in about 1.5 seconds, especially late game. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, but I definitely think Danzaburo would be SS. The guy needs to have his damage scaled back tenfold this next patch. He builds items, like, all you really need to do is build like 1 or 2 attack speed items, and the rest of that you just throw into like ability damage. Like, you just, around that time, if you just build like, I don't know, absolute like ability based build with a little bit of attack speed, you're doing around about 800 to fucking 1,000 damage with your rocket around about level 15 to level 18. Like, he's so fucking broken. I hate going against him. He's legit a banner pick in all your games. Not going to talk about him really anymore. I just think he needs to be nerfed. He's just way overtuned. He needs his damage scaling taken back. Increase his cooldowns on all of his abilities. Make it so you are actually hit by a tower when you're sitting in leaf form under a tower, or you're trying to escape a tower and the tower doesn't target you for some reason. That needs to change. Like, there's just so much stuff about him that's way overtuned compared to like all the other hunters in the game. That's why he's the best hunter in the game. He's just way overtuned, even for low ranks. Now getting into it, Achilles. Like, a lot of new items. Really, I don't know. I'm just gonna put him at an A+. I just don't really see him, at least from what I've played so far. I've been playing since release day, when the servers are at least decent as well. I don't know, like, it seems like majority of the day the servers are either under maintenance or the servers are fucking garbage, and you get booted out of games, like mid-game, and it won't let you log back in. And then the game has the balls to give you a 20-minute deserter for the game not letting you log back in and not letting you try to play when you're trying to get back into the game. I don't know. At least from what I've seen with Achilles, I'm just going to put him at an A+. I don't really know that much about him. If right now I haven't played him enough to really know, and nor have I really seen him enough in my games. I think he can be good. I'm just going to put him at A+ for right now. Maybe he's different, but Agni. I actually put Agni at an S. I think for the amount of damage he does do late game, I think he's worth an S. Apart from that, he does get a little bit pressured out by a lot of the other mid laners currently. He does get dove kind of easy, especially if you don't have your dash, but not going to talk about him very much. AMC, the problem with AMC is he's fucking garbage. He's going down to B tier. He has no lane pressure, and he just gets dove by everything. His early game's kind of trash. His mid game is kind of trash. Late game, he can do a decent amount of damage, but at that point, if somebody dives you, you're pretty much dead. Apok, B tier. I'm actually going to move him down to C tier. I don't think he's good at all. He just gets dove by everything. Like, there's just no reason to play him currently. I think he also got buffed this patch. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he might have got buffed. Still trash. I'm going to put Honor at an A+. I think he's fallen off a little bit just because there's other things. There's other hunters in the game that are, I think, better than him right now, but he's fallen off a little bit, but I think he's still top tier. A+, I'm going to put him. He builds mannequins. He builds Death's Toll decently well. Items options. He has a decent amount of items options if you want to run crit. If you want to run just like full attack, basic attack damage. Amaterasu, I'm gonna put it in A+. Has fallen off a little bit just because she kind of gets shit on by a lot more of the aggressive type guardians or solo laners that are in lane currently. But I think towards the middle late game, having that team-wide ult and having some decent amount of pressure around the map with the aura and stuff like that, I still think she can be good. Anubis, probably one of the mages that has fallen off slightly. The reason why Anubis is no longer, I think, in like an S or like an S+, like keep in mind, I'm 100% redoing my tier list, so I'm not taking into consideration anything from Season 7. But if you guys want to go back and check that Season 7 list, I think I had him either at an SS or like a top tier must pick, must ban for like mid to low tier ranks in like S tier. The reason why Anubis has fallen off a little bit, in my honest opinion, he's not bad by any means. He can still pub stomp at lower games and lower type ranks. But the reason why he's fallen off is because there's just so much damage in the game currently. Like, there's so much burst damage, and the damage in the game right now is absolutely insane. The time to kill is, you legit die in like 1 second, like late game. If you're caught out and you like fuck up on something, if you don't play 100% perfectly, or you're out of position, or you're punished for one of your plays, you're legit dead in like 1 or 2 seconds. It's even worse than last season. Like Season 7, you have enough healing with your life steal and your passive and building life steal to where you can actually heal through a majority of the damage if they ain't building life steal or if they're building anti-heal. Like, even this season, they don't even need to build like anti-heal because there's just so much damage to the point where you can't even really heal through it the majority of the time anyways. Like, you'll get hit with like a 900 fucking Scylla ult or like a 900 damage type ult or like an attack or something, and then get hit with like 2 500 basic attacks and you're fucking dead. Like, you can't heal. There's not enough time to heal through that shit. So that's why I'm kind of moving him down. I don't think he's bad at all. I still think he's a solid pick. I just don't think he's worth a ban anymore, guys. He's kind of a victim of the meta, to where the meta, everything, especially with all the new relics and some of the new items, like damage in the game has gone up like 1,000 times more, and he just hasn't changed at all, really. So, not bad by any means, but I just don't think he's worth a ban anymore, or like a justifiable like pick this every game and like win every game with him. He's not like that anymore, if I'm being completely honest. Then he just gets dove super easy just because he has no mobility. So if you miss your band-aid and you miss your wrap on people, then you're kind of dead most of the time just because he has no mobility and he gets dove. Quang. I really want to put Quang higher, guys, but he just doesn't fucking do anything. Like, I think the problem with Quang now, like, even in Season 7, the problem was that there was just no reason to pick him because he doesn't do anything. The reason now why you're never ever going to pick him, I'm actually going to put him even lower than AMC. I think he's garbage. He can build some of the new relics and the new starter items, or not relics, starter items, decently well. Like, don't get me wrong, he has decent options for starter items now, but like, the reason why you're not going to pick him is if you fuck up and you get caught out of position, like, you're dead like every time. Like, he's even less forgiving than he was in Season 7 just because of the high amount of damage in the game. Like, either you kill something or you're dead. That's what it comes down to with Quang. You dive something, and if the team catches you out of position, the team dives onto you when you're trying to kill somebody in a 1v1, you're dead. He's probably the most least forgiving, at least type of jungler, a mage type jungler in the game. He just doesn't bring anything. His jungle clear at the beginning of the game is fucking trash. You can't really clear very well, even with the new starter items, until around level 5, level 6 is when you start getting at least a decent amount of damage online with your items. I think he's just really bad. I think he also might have got a slight buff for the Season 8 patch, not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't know, I think he's just kind of bad, like C tier. Don't get me wrong, he can do stuff in lower tiers because people are kind of out of position and may not know what to build or know what they're doing in lower tiers, but I don't know, once you get out of bronze, he ain't doing anything. Aphrodite, I still think Aphrodite is really good. I would not play her in mid, though. If you want to build Aphrodite, I think she's the best right now in support. She's still really good in support. So if you want a really easy support that has a great lane clear, I don't know. I've actually been building I think it was War Flag. Aphrodite, and I actually think probably one of the best ranked games I've had so far this season. I actually had support Aphrodite with War Flag. I had a fucking team of squishies. Like, we had no tank. I was the only, like, considered tank on the team. And we just fucking crushed an entire team with, like, that was, like, fucking 100% more god tier, like, well-built, put together than our team. Our team was, like, a team comp of clowns, and we still won. So, I still think she can be good, but as a mid laner, she just gets shit on. You need to play her as a support if you want her to be good. As a mid, she's garbage, but I'm putting her as an S because she's a really good support currently. Paulo SS, one of the best hunters in the game, still. I'm not 100% sure if they actually nerfed him this patch, I forgot, but he's still, nothing's really changed with him. He's insanely good. Arachne, I'm going to put Arachne at an S. I think I had her at an SS last season. I'm going to drop her down to an S. I think she's still worth a ban in most of your games just because she pub stomps lower ranked games and lower tiers of ranks. Kind of another one of those junglers that kind of fell down slightly just because there's so much damage in the game right now. So if you can't get your kills and you can't pick people off, like in a 1v1 or maybe a 1v2, she can 1v2 people. But there's just so much burst damage and so much damage in the game to where if you screw up like once or twice, then you're usually dead. She's less forgiving than the last patch, just like Anubis. Ares, what does Ares really do apart from an ult? Nothing. Garbage. Artemis actually got buffed this patch as well, and I still don't think she's even that good. There's just so many better options as for hunters in the game. Ardeo, I think they actually buffed Ardeo for this patch. I think she's garbage. Like, the problem with Ardeo as a Guardian, she's way too passive. You need it. Like, the Guardians that are doing well, at least from what I've been seeing and from what I've been playing, are the Guardians that have good lane clear and are able to keep up at least in levels, or the Guardians that aren't really passive. They can play passive or aggressive. Ardeo doesn't do that. She plays mainly passive. Her lane clear is garbage. She falls behind the levels if you don't have your carry over in your lane. And most of the time, around about level 8, your carry ends up leaving the lane and starts rotating anyways. Or at least you're supposed to start rotating around that time anyways, either as well. So the problem with her is her lane clear is garbage. It takes way too much mana, especially early game, when you're trying to switch between your wolf and your bear and your main stance. Like, I don't know, her mana consumption needs to go down. They need to buff her base damage. Like, for a Guardian, her damage is fucking garbage. Like, even if you're building damage, she doesn't do any damage. And if you're building damage, then you just get destroyed because you don't have enough defense. So, I don't know. Kind of doo-doo dog shit tier, in my honest opinion, even though she got buffed. She's fucking garbage. Her lane clear is trash. She doesn't really do anything. If you want a really good Guardian to feed with, then go pick Ardeo because she doesn't do anything. Athena, I'm going to put in A tier. Just your typical Guardian. Wheelix, I think Wheelix right now is probably the best she's ever been. I've been playing a fuck ton of Wheelix, guys. I'm not going to put her above Arachne, but I've been playing a fuck ton of Wheelix, and I think she's probably the best she's ever been. She builds Boomba's Dagger, probably one of the best junglers to build Boomba's Dagger, just because she really benefits from the basic attack type combos and chaining it with her abilities. Having Suku and being able to move around the map a lot faster than the majority of the other junglers in the game, especially when the map has got reworked and it's like way bigger now than the last Season 7 map, is a huge advantage for her as well, being able to move between lanes and rotate lanes a lot more freely and a lot quicker. So, I don't know, I think she's just really good. I think she's really solid right now. She builds a lot of the really good items. You can run her as a hybrid if you really want to. You can run her as like a hybrid type build and still do really good. Full damage, what I've been running is just like full damage with like Boomba's Dagger. You upgrade that to tier 2 at level 20. You got that 20% CDR, and you just run like Chotems or something else with more CDR. So, Really, really good right now. I think if you guys aren't playing a Wheelix, I think you should give her a try because I think she's probably one of the more underrated type junglers right now. She does really good. I think she's really good right now. She's also really good against a lot of the other mages, least being played right now, and some of the other hunters that really don't have much mobility. Things like Janice, Scylla. She's good into Scylla as long as you don't get rooted. Stuff like that. Huku Khan, Merlin, stuff like that. So if you want to really have easy games. Baba Yaga, probably the best she's ever been. The amount of damage she does with her ults and the amount of damage. I think she's one of the mages that's, at least for Season 7, she was buffed to the point where she had really good damage late game. Now that damage has gone up with pretty much everything. Apart from, I guess, maybe like some of the Guardians or whatever, but the majority of the damage, at least for mages and hunters and like warriors and stuff like that and junglers, has gone up, and a lot of the damage in the game's gone up. I think she's really benefited from that because now her scaling is fucking insane. Her ult legit does like fucking insane amounts of damage, guys. Play her at like level 15, level 18, whatever, and try just dumping your ult on somebody and they're having them run under their tower. Like, she has decent mobility as long as she doesn't get stunned with her 3. She has decent lane clear up to around about... I mean, her lane clear isn't the best, but once you hit level 5, then that's when she starts picking up. I think she's overall really solid. She builds a variety of items. You want a rod, warlock staff, the stacking type items, Book of Thoth, whatever. Really solid right now. I think Baba Yaga is definitely a sleeper pick. I think she's definitely an S tier pick. Not ban worthy, but you definitely want to pick her in most of your games. Bacchus actually got buffed. I have not seen him enough, nor have I played him enough to really know if the buff has really done anything. From as far as I've seen, I think he's pretty much the exact same. Bakasura, I'm going to put it at an A. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's bad. He's just like your average jungler now. Like, I don't know. There's just nothing that really makes him better than a lot of the other junglers, if I'm being completely honest. Baron, I'm going to put Baron in an A+. I think he could be solid. The problem with him is he just gets dove way too easy, and he's kind of a cooldown ability. Dump all your cooldowns in like a short amount of time, and then like wait for everything to go off cooldown. You really can't do much between cooldowns. Like, don't get me wrong, he has decent lane pressure, but the problem with him is he kind of gets dove pretty easy if you don't have your ult. So you kind of just have to play him a little bit more passive at the start of the game, and then once you get late game, then you can kind of play more aggressive. Bastet, I don't know why people say Bastet's so good. I don't know, I played her, she's fucking garbage. I actually ended up pretty much losing a ranked game because I wouldn't say it was really my fault, but I probably could have picked any other jungler in the game and probably did better. At least from the one game I did play with her, I don't see any difference. I'm actually going to put her even lower than C tier. I think Artio and all those are even better. I'd say Quang's better than fucking Bastet. She does nothing. She's trash. If you want to throw your games, pick Bastet and you can throw games and get reported. Bellona. Bellona's really good, one of the best solo laners right now. I actually think she's probably one of the best warrior junglers in the game as well. If you want a really solid, you want to play a warrior jungle, apart from that, I think like maybe Erlang Shen. I think probably the two best warrior jungles in the game are Erlang Shen and Bellona right now. Kabrakan, still broken. Wins the majority of your games. I think he got nerfed just slightly, but I think he's still really good. Camazot's going down to B tier, does nothing. Needs some type of buff, some type of reworks. Doesn't do anything at all. Cern, A tier, just your typical hunter. Nothing's really changed with him. I'm going to put Cerberus in A+. Good. He's a decent solo laner. Decent support. You can play him in the jungle as well, which I've been seeing a lot more, but I don't know. I think he's just A+ currently. Chalk, I'm going to put it in A+. The problem with Chalk is he still doesn't do anything. Like, you throw out an ult, it doesn't really matter if you're unkillable. They keep buffing Chalk to the point where he's able to survive, and he's almost unkillable. But the problem with Chalk, it doesn't matter if you're unkillable or not, bro. Like, you can still be a huge target and people will still shoot at you, but if you don't do anything and you just stand there while the rest of your team dies, you still lose the game. So there's just no reason to play him. Like, at lower tiers, he can be good. That's why I'm putting him at an A+, because in lower tiers, he kind of does pub stomp, like lower to mid tiers. But once you get past like gold 3, gold 1, then I would not choose him anymore. That's the problem with Shock. He doesn't do anything apart from his ult still. They can give him as much DR and like survivability and increase his HP or whatever they did with his buffs. But if your entire team is getting killed and you're the last one alive, you ain't going to be able to 1v5 an entire team with your fucking 2 and your ult. I'm sorry. Just a lot of better options to play. Changa A+. I think she's relatively solid right now. Decent aggression. The only thing she kind of suffers from is getting dove. If you don't have your ult up and you can't get that stun off when you're getting dove, then you're kind of dead meat most of the time. Chernobyl, I'm going to put Chernobyl in S. Not really broken tier, but the main reason why you're going to pick him up is because if he has really good lane clear, at least early to mid game. Help you get your gold built up and everything like that. And the global ult, the map's insanely huge. It got increased from last season. Having the global ult and being able to turn a 1v1 into a 1v2 on the snap of a dime is really good. Or just teleporting, respawning, and then your team fights at the other enemy's Phoenix or something like that, and just being able to teleport to your teammates. Really good. Chiron B tier. I think he actually got buffed as well. Still garbage. I'm going to put Coronas at an A+. I think he's still solid. I can actually put him at an S. I think he's really good. He got buffed this patch as well. His basic attack speed got increased, and I think they increased his movement speed slightly on his 2 again. I think he's actually really good, especially with like something like mannequins or a best tool. I think he can be really good. At least from what I've played with him, I think he's a lot better than last season. But Cthulhu. Now, there's going to be some people that are going to be pissed because I put Cthulhu so low. The reason why I'm putting Cthulhu at an A tier is because he just doesn't do anything. The guy is legit an alt bot. Like, that's what Cthulhu is. He's an alt bot. Can somebody please tell me what Cthulhu does apart from an ult? Because all I see him do is get fucking bursted down and be probably the biggest target in the game when he's in his ult, or when he's not even in his ult. He's just pretty much a big standing walking target. That's all he is. Like, the only time he actually does do something is when he's in his ult, and then apart from that, the entire enemy team is going to target you when you're in your ult because you're probably the biggest hitbox and target in the game. So, like, don't get me wrong, he can win lane, but once you get out of the laning phase around about like level 10, level 12, around that time he really falls off. He doesn't do anything after that because he's just pretty much an alt bot. I think if you want to play Cthulhu right now, you build him as like a hybrid type build, so you're at least doing decent amount of damage with your ult and with your 2 and your other type of abilities. I would not really choose him over a lot of the other Guardians, at least. At least me personally, I don't know, maybe I'm putting him too low, but whatever. Cullen, probably one of the best warriors in the game. Like, you hit level 2, and level 3, and you just fucking run at people. The guy is fucking broken, bro. I don't know what they did to Cullen to actually buff him this patch, if he got buffed at all, or if it's just like a victim of the meta and him getting a lot of better items and a lot of better starter items. But the guy is fucking broken. Probably the most aggressive solo laner in the game. Like I said, you hit level 2, level 3, and you just fucking run at whoever you're going against. He pretty much shits on pretty much everybody over in solo lane. If you run out of your tower, I mean, I guess it depends who you're going against. If you're going against like some other type of, it depends who you're going against. But if you're playing like a mage, like a hunter over in solo lane, which you can do, but you're pretty much forced to stay into your tower. I'd say Cullen is probably either a must pick or must ban in all your games. So, guy needs to be fucking nerfed into the ground, or when some of the items might get reworked, some of the starter items might be getting nerfed, and some others might be getting buffed. Maybe that's what he needs to be toned down a little bit, but he's just fucking broken, insane. Cupid's fallen off a little bit. I'm gonna put him at an A+. Dodgy, I'll put Dodgy at an A+. Like, she's just, I think, above average jungler right now. Her jungle, I think the problem with her, at least, she's kind of fallen off a little bit. Her jungle clear early game is kind of fallen off slightly because it's a lot harder to rotate between lanes and the jungle camps. So, Discordia, I put Discordia at an S every time. I really do. I'm going to put her at an A+. the reason why I'm not putting her higher is because nobody really plays her for some reason. Like, she's not bad at all. I think the only problem she really has right now is that she gets dove pretty easily. So, but if you can, like, land your 2 and catch people in your 2, and you can do a fuck ton of damage. Like, late game, she's doing a fuck ton of damage. With her ult alone, you're doing, like, 800 damage, and that's not even with your 2 or your 1. Erlang Shin, I'm gonna actually put Erlang Shin at an S. Probably the best warrior jungle in the game. Absolutely broken. Needs to be picked or banned in the majority of your games. He can rotate between lanes as well because of his 3. You're able to increase your movement speed and flow through the air. So has a stun. He has a root with his 2. Like around like level 5. I don't know. You're hitting for, I don't know, insane amounts of damage. Like, he builds a lot of the jungle items as well really well. I think that's one of the things why it made him really more viable. Fafnir, A tier, not going to talk about him very much. Fenrir, probably one of the more junglers that's went from being at least dog shit in a lot of other people's opinions, at least not my opinion, but they gave him a buff to where you activate your 2 and you get automatically 2 runes for your passive. Huge buff. I think Fenrir right now is probably one of the better jungles in the game. I'd probably put him even higher. Probably like one of the top tier jungles. He's not worth a ban, but he's really fucking good. He's really good. Huge ult that you're able to pick somebody out and get it pretty much a guaranteed kill the majority of the time, or you burn a beat. You got a stun in your kit. You got a fuck ton of damage with your 3. You got build-in lifesteal with your 2 if you want to go out of combat and hit some jungle camps and get some health back, and then hop right back into the fight at around about get back to full health. Really good so far. I think Fenrir right now is probably the best he's ever been in the game, at least from recent memory. I don't know. I thought he was really good last patch as well, even when they buffed his 3 to have a shorter cooldown. But I think right now he's probably the best he's ever been. Freya, I'm going to put Freya at an S. She does get dove pretty easily, but if you're playing a good Freya, you're going to be landing your 3 and you're going to be able to hold people up. I think not really much has changed with her since last season. I still think she's really top tier. At least for like the mage ADCs, I think she's really good. Ganesh, garbage. What does Ganesh do apart from, I don't even know what he does. He doesn't do anything. I never want a fucking Ganesh on my team when I'm playing carry. Probably one of the worst, probably the lower type of supports in the game. Jeb, I'm putting it in A. Problem with Jeb, his lane clear is fucking garbage. And the only thing he really does is he spams a shield onto somebody and he's an ult pod. The guy has a shield and an ult pod. Kind of the same boat as Chalk, but I think he's just more unkillable. Like I said, you can be unkillable as you want, but if you're not doing anything and your entire team dies before you and you're the last one standing there, then you're going to be dead anyways, so it doesn't matter. And it's the ult and shield bot. Guan Yu, going to put him in an A. Nothing's really changed with him. Hachiman, A. Typical jungler. I'm going to move Hades down, actually. He's fallen off a little bit. I'm going to put him at an A. I wouldn't say he's worth a ban or like a pick in all your games anymore. I think the main reason why is just because there's so much damage. Even with like the increased protections during your ult, if you don't catch like the entire team in your ult, you're going to have people that has fucking burst you down. Jungler or like the hunters are going to be hitting you with like 700 damage per auto, like late game. Unless you build like a hybrid, like defensive type build, but then you lose out on a lot of damage. So I think kind of one of those mage type victims that was good before the damage, like, and TTK got changed. So kind of a lot more damage in the game is a lot more difficult for him to survive and make him do what he's supposed to do. Habo, if we were talking about damage, at least for mages, I'd probably put him at probably a fucking SS broken tier. The reason why I'm not going to put him any higher than A is because he doesn't really do anything. But if you're talking about pure damage, I think out of all the support or the mages in the game, I think the only other mage maybe in the game that has about the same amount of damage as him right now is probably Scylla and maybe Baba Yaga with her ult. But legit, you hit level 10, I think level 15. I got fucking one-shotted by a Hebo ult with 1200 damage at level 15 the other day. The guy's like his damage scaling is fucking broken. If you want to play him, you're doing like 1200 with your ult at like level 15, bro. You pretty much OHKO any mage, any jungler, or any carry at that point in the game with a 1200 damage ult, and that's not considering your 2 or your 1. So even if they have some type of chip damage, you just run up to him and get a free kill. Apart from that, he doesn't do anything really though. He just gets dove and he really doesn't do much. That's the problem. That's the reason why I'm putting him at an A. At least for like as a mid, he's garbage. I think the only reason you can really play him right now is as a jungle, as like a mage type jungle. I would not really play him that much. Hell, A+. Kind of really got fucked over with the healing reworks. I think she's a lot worse than she was. Heimdallr, I'm putting an A+. The reason why I'm not putting him higher is because he gets dove by pretty much everything, and his damage is kind of bad until he gets around about mid to late game. Hera, I'm going to put Hera at an A+. I think I'm going to actually... I had her higher last time. The reason why I'm moving her down is just because Argus. Like, there's so much damage in the game, Argus gets deleted in like 2 seconds. Like, your ult is pretty much useless late game because it just gets deleted by pretty much everything. Like, any type of mage that throws like an AoE ability or hits them with like an ability, you're taking like 800 damage from... With that, Argus has like, what, 1500 health late game or whatever it is. Hunter's like 2-shot you late game, at least with Argus. You get dove relatively easy if you don't have your shield. And they recently nerfed her shield health as well, I think a patch or 2 ago. Put her at an H, she's not bad by any means. I don't think she's worth a ban or picking the majority of your games anymore over a lot of the other SS broken picks. Hercules A+. Not going to talk about it very much. Horus, I'm going to move down just because he really doesn't do anything. Like, his lane clear is fucking garbage. His ult, being on a bigger map, his ult got kind of more devalued because you're not able to travel as far with your ult. Like, if you have a good team, then he can work, but the majority of the time, you kind of want to have a Guardian that can also play for themselves if your team really isn't the best. So, I don't think he's really capable of doing that. I think he's just average. Houyi, A+. Not going to talk about it very much. Hunbats, nothing's really changed with him. A+, pretty much the same as last season. Isis, I think they might have tried reverting one of her nerfs. D tier, one of the worst mages in the game still, even with all the new starter items and everything changing. Izanami, one of the best hunters in the game, apart from Apollo and Danzaburl. She got a rework to her basic attacks, I think, where it throws different or something like... I don't know, they reworked her basic attacks somehow and it made it a lot more... to be able to do a lot more damage in pretty much the same amount of time or something like that. She just feels a lot better. Like, she builds a lot of the newer items. Her lane clear is absolutely great. Probably the best lane clear out of any of the hunters in the game right now, currently. At least from early to mid-game. She has an okay ult. She has okay mobility. She's able to get out of situation with her phase and teleport away. If you try diving and then late game, she can 1v1 pretty much everything she dives because she just does so much damage in such a short amount of time. She's really solid right now. I think she definitely needs to be scaled back, at least balance-wise, for this next coming patch. Fucking insane. Janice, man, when were you guys ever going to see Janice in a fucking S tier, bro? Janice, I'm going to put Janice at an SS. I think he's broken. The only thing that really holds Janice back is he actually can get dove. He gets dove relatively easy. But even then, he does so much damage to where anything that dives him is pretty... If you even do kill him, after that you're pretty much dead anyways, because you just get so much damage. If you're able to finish him off, you're usually around about, I don't know, maybe 100 or 200 health, and you're usually almost dead at that point anyways. Anything else, if the other team isn't stupid, they'll look at you and they'll just target you down anyways, so you're gonna... Most of the time, you're either trading a 1v1. So, like I said, he can get dove easy, but he just does so much damage. Like, I think they actually made his kits to where it's a lot easier to play. I don't know what they really reworked with him, but the amount of damage he does is fucking insane. Like, I don't know what they need to do to scale him back, but his damage, I think, needs to be toned down. Like, decreases survivability or something, like, I don't know. Jingwei. Jingwei right now, guys, I think is probably the worst she's ever been. Probably my most favorite hunter in the game, and I'm probably going to only put her at an A+. The reason why I'm going to move her down is because her lane clear is garbage. I think the only reason you can maybe play her is with mannequins. Then she can actually clear at least decently well early game. She doesn't do anything until late game, guys. I think she's probably one of the worst hunters in the game, at least doing something tough from early to mid game. Like, don't get me wrong, her late game is fucking insane because you're doing a shit ton of damage once you get your entire build online. But until that point, until you're like around about 5-6 items into the game, she really doesn't do anything. Her kit's super basic, it doesn't really do anything. Like, she has a small knock-up in her base kit with her 1. When are you going to be using that offensively, and when are you going to be getting value out of that? Not really much. Mainly you're going to be using that for yourself, for self-peel. The only thing she really has going for her, she's really easy to play, and she's kind of forgiving on having to go back to spawn a decent amount of time just with her passive. Apart from that, I think she's actually really bad. I'm going to put her at an A tier, and that's being generous. I definitely think Jingwei, out of the hunters, at least right now, at least going into this next patch, needs some type of rework to some of her base kit, at least her 1 or maybe her 3. I think her 1 is actually probably the most problematic. She needs to either the distance on her passive increased to compensate for having a bigger Conquest map, or they need to change her 1 or something like that, or increase her damage scaling at early type levels, whatever. She needs some type of buff. She's probably the worst she's ever been. I think it's not really her fault. I think it's just having so many other better hunters in the game right now, and just no reason to even play her. At least compared to a lot of the other hunters and everything else you can play, and what's being played. Jorm. Gonna move Jorm down to I think it was B tier. Garbage, does nothing. Hallie S tier. Really solid jungler right now. Builds a lot of the starter items very well. Especially late game, she's able to really steamroll late game. Kefri A+, nothing's really changed with Kefri. King Arthur, I'm going to put it in S. Probably one of the best solo lanes in the game. If you're going to be picking solo lane right now, you're either going to be picking King Arthur or you're going to be picking Cullen. King Arthur definitely needs to be scaled back somehow. I don't know really what needs to be changed with him, but he's fucking insane. Huku Khan A+. Nothing's really changed with him apart from his damage. His damage does increase like tenfold, and some of the items he does build do change, but I don't think it's really enough to put him up any higher. Kumbhakarna S, probably the best guardian in the game, and if you can get like CC, probably the best CC guardian in the game. Like, you set up so many kills for your team. Very easy to play, gets so much value for just playing him. Kuzenbo A+, low key, I'm gonna put it at an A. I just don't think he's that good, honestly, guys. Like, he just gets bursting down so easy with so much damage in the game right now. I think that's what his problem is. Like, if this was the end of Season 7, I'd probably put him higher, but being that there's just so much damage in the game, it's so hard to play that type of jungler currently. Dusa A+, Mercury A+, not really much changed. Merlin, I'm going to put it in SS. The guy's broken, you build, it's not Divine Ruin, I think it's whatever the one it is, I think it's Spear of Desolation, I think is what it's called. Whatever the pretty much the mage item is that you get the cooldown reduction if you get an assist or a kill. I think it's a 2-second reduction or whatever. And then if you get a kill, they reworked it to where you actually get 8 seconds off your ult. With his ult is a stance change, so you can pretty much steamroll, build Spear of Desolation, get that 2-second cooldown from all your abilities, spam your abilities again, and then swap between your stances and get a kill that way. I think he just builds a lot of the items, at least for mages right now, very well. And at least for the amount of damage he does do, he's probably one of the top picks right now. I wouldn't say he's ban-worthy, but he's definitely top-tier pick-worthy in the majority of your games. Mulan, oh man, has Mulan fallen off, bro. Like, I've been trying to play Mulan jungle like I have been in Season 7. It just isn't the same, guys. Like, I don't know what really the problem is. I'm actually gonna put her at an A. Like, I'm really ashamed. Like, two of my favorite fucking gods in the game, Mulan and Jing Wei, are like A tier in my honest opinion. Like, I don't know what it is. As a solo laner, she's trash because she doesn't have really any much lane pressure at all. She gets shit on by things like Cullen and King Arthur and a lot of other better type of solo laners, Bracken, stuff like that. Like, I don't know what she needs. I think she actually needs, I don't know, maybe some more damage scaling, maybe some, I don't know, maybe some basic attack speeds at base. Give her some more basic attack speed at base without any items. I don't know. Increase her base health, reduce some of her cooldowns. I don't know what they need to do with her, but she needs some type of buff going into next patch. Like, at least me, I can like still try to make her work as a jungle in most of my games. I still think at lower tiers and lower to mid tiers, she can be played as a good jungler, but as a solo laner, she's garbage. And in the majority of your games, there's just way better options as a jungler. Like, I've been playing a Willix way more than Mulan, and I was a top 5 Mulan player for pretty much the entirety of Season 7 last season. And I don't know, I have not really been able to make her work, at least so far. At least, maybe it's my builds, maybe it's the way I've been playing her, but I don't know. Neath, I'm going to put it in an S, probably one of the better hunters in the game. Nemesis, still probably the best jungler in the game. Obvious reasons. Naja, I'm actually going to put Naja at an S. They increased, I think they reworked the heal on his 2 or whatever. Like, he's fucking insane, bro. Like, mid-game, you're hitting for like 300 per auto. You're doing a fuck ton of damage. Like, you're able to chase down, I think what he makes him good as well is he's able to chase down a lot of stuff with mobility with his sash and get a stun off and pull them towards, wasting their movement abilities. Especially at lower tiers, people don't know how to really play into that lower to mid tiers. Nike, probably another one of the best solo laners in the game right now. Great lane pressure, great lane clear. She's able to box with a lot of the other laners. She has a good matchup into Cullen and King Arthur if you build correctly. She can be played in jungle as well. I actually put her at probably like an S tier for jungle, even. I think if you want a warrior jungle right now, you'd probably play her along Shen or Bellona, but as a solo laner, I think she's definitely SS. Needs some type of nerf next season. I'm not 100% sure what they'll even touch with her, but Nox, garbage. B tier. Nuwa, probably one of the best mages in the game right now. Definitely needs to be nerfed sometime next patch because I'm fucking sick of going against her. She's a must-pick, must-ban in the majority of your games. You either pick her or maybe like a Merlin right now, at least if you're talking about mid lane. Or any of these other picks, at least for S tier. Like, way too much damage with her ult late game. You're doing about 1,000 damage to people with your ult alone. And that's just your ult, and that's being anywhere on the map at any given time. You're doing an automatic 1,000 damage with your ult late game. Fucking broken. There should never be a fucking character in the game that can sit and spawn and automatically get 1,000 damage on like 3 people just from sitting and spawn with one button. Fucking broken. You can't dive her as well because she stuns you and she automatically deletes about 75% of your health if you do dive her. So you have to wait until she spends her cooldowns and then try to dive her, which is extremely difficult to do when you're trying to fight as a team. Odin, trash. Nothing's changed with Odin. Olorun, trash. Probably one of the worst mage ADCs in the game right now. He just gets dove by anything. The only reason you're going to be picking him is for his ult. His ult's on like, 130-second cooldown. There's just no reason to play him. There really isn't. Osiris. I actually think Osiris is really solid. As an aggressive solo laner, he can be really good. Pele. A+. This year above average jungler. Persephone isn't really fallen off. I'm actually going to put Persephone at an A+. Actually, even an A. I think he's really fallen off. Like, compared to last season, like, she just gets dove way too easy, bro. Like, especially with the rework to the Conquest map, mid lane is a lot more open. She can't really, like, before with Season 7, you can actually place your plans and take up the majority of the mid lane. Mid lane is a lot bigger now, and it's a lot more of an open space, so you can't really pack your plants and farm your plants into, like, more smaller of an area. You kind of have to spread your plants out a lot more, which I think makes her a lot worse. That being, there's so much damage in the game as well. Her ult gets deleted in like 1 second. You can throw your ult and you can catch like 3 people, but it's gone in like 1 second. If your team doesn't capitalize in that 1 second, your ult's pretty much garbage. Not to mention she has barely any mobility. She has a small dash, and apart from that, that's it. She gets dove extremely easy if she doesn't have her ult, and she just land your ult on you. Her damage is okay. Yeah, she has decent damage, but I think she's kind of a victim of the new Conquest map, and everything else getting better, and her not really getting any type of changes or any type of anything buffed about her, and her constantly is getting nerfed over the last couple patches. Which is kind of a shame as well, because again, another one of my favorite mages to play in the game is now in A tier, along with Jingwei and Mulan, my other two my favorite hunter and my favorite warrior in the game. Poseidon, I'm gonna put Poseidon at S. Probably if you want to play, I actually wouldn't even play him as like a mid laner. I'd skip mid lane. I think he's best in the jungle right now. With the speed boost you get from your passive, you can actually rotate between lanes really fast, and you're hitting it for about like fucking 1200 damage with your ult alone. So I don't know. I think at least with the damage and how fast he's able to go between lanes, at least as a jungler, what he's able to build, I think he's probably an S tier. Ra, gonna move him down. He's not as good as last patch. Raijin, which I thought was garbage last patch, the reason why I'm moving up is because he just fucking destroys his lane. I would put him at an SS, but I don't think he's really played enough. I think until people see how much damage he actually does at level 2, then he'll actually be moved up to an SS. But like I'm telling you guys right now, level your 3 at level 1, and then level your 2 at, or I think you're whatever you're I think it's 1 or your 2, whatever one it is, at level 2. And you just pretty much run at people at level 2, and you fucking delete like 75% of their health, and you force them to sit under tower for the majority of the game, while you just out-level them. His lane pressure is fucking insane. Rama gonna be moved down. I just don't think he's as good. Ratatoskr. Can somebody please tell me what Ratatoskr does? Apart from a lot of the other junglers, I think he's garbage right now, guys. Put him at a B tier. I think he needs some type of rework, some type of buffs this next patch. He just gets deleted but instantly, like pretty much everything. There's just so much burst damage and like CC in the game right now, he just gets deleted. His late game is garbage. He doesn't do anything. He has it okay early to mid game, but after around like level 15, he really falls off compared to a lot of the other junglers. Ravana, A+, nothing's really changed. Scylla, SS. A must pick, must ban for mid pretty much the majority of your games. With your 2 alone around about level 15, you're doing around 700 to 800 damage alone. Your ult's doing around about 1,000 to 1,100 damage, and it resets upon kills, so you can have that out probably like 2 or 3 times, and possibly steamroll a game with 2 or 3 kills in one team fight. She has a built-in root, she has a really good self-peel, and it's very hard to dive her and chase her down. Probably the best mage in the game, I'm going to be completely honest. Probably even better than Merlin. Best mage in the game right now is Scylla. Amount of damage she does, amount of self-peel, just everything she does. Whatever she can build with items. She builds items right now, probably the best she's ever been. Serket, A+. Nothing's really changed. I think she can be solid, but it's more team dependent, what you go against. Set, S. Still probably one of the best auto attack / ability hybrid type junglers in the game. Scotty, I'm going to put her in A+. The reason I'm not going to put her higher is because she just gets dove by everything. There's so many better options as a hunter right now to play. Sobek, S. I think if you want a really solid guardian, I think Sobek right now is still really good. Sol. I'm actually put her at I think I'll put her at an S. I think she's actually really solid. I think she's on the level of a Freya and a Kronos, I'm being completely honest. They all do their more different things. I think what makes Sol different from both of them is she actually got buffed this patch as well. So I think her passive actually gives her, I think, slightly more base at like attack damage and attack speed. I've seen a lot of cool builds where you don't even have to build like max. You don't have to build like max attack speed, because you can actually build like I think there's one item that gives you like 30% attack speed as a passive or whatever, or as like an extra bonus. And pretty much all you need to really build is maybe like 1-2 attack items, and like late game sell one of those items once you get your starter item upgraded to a tier 2. I think he's actually really solid right now. Sun Wukong, gonna put him at an S. Probably one of the better solo laners in the game. Not as good as the S tier ones, but still really solid. Susanoo, A+, doesn't do anything. Sylvanas, I'm gonna put it in A+. Susanoo was an A. Hera, I'm gonna put it in A+. Just gets shit on by everything. Like, she doesn't do anything. She is just like a walking boxing target. Like, she does pretty much free damage. Thanatos S, one of the best junglers in the game. Or SS, best junglers in the game. Morgan SS, one of the best junglers in the game. Like, I think or not junglers, fucking mid laners. You can actually even play her jungle. I would not even be mad if I had a jungle Morgan as well. For some reason, I think she actually got buffed. Her ultimate got buffed for some reason this patch as well. Like, the amount of damage she does is fucking insane. Being able to transform into pretty much everything, if you can transform into like a Danzaburo, a Scylla, like all this other broken shit, and taking that damage and applying it to yourself and using it against either on your team as a double or using it against your enemy team. Absolutely fucking broken. I think she's probably one of the best hits in the game currently. Thor A+, Thoth A+, nothing's really changed. Tsukiomi, one of the best junglers in the game. I think what makes Tsukiomi so good is he builds tier 2 Boomba's dagger. You get 20% CDR, you build 2 other CDR type items, and you have your 1 is legit on a 1 second cooldown because it's a long range basic attack and it procs off that. So late game, you constantly have your 1, which is doing around about 500 to 600 damage each time. So you have a crowd control with your 2. You can lock people down in a specific area with your 3. You have a really solid ult. You do insane amounts of damage. I think he's probably one of the most solid jungler in the game currently. At least most reliable game in the game currently. I wouldn't say he's worth a ban, but I think he's definitely needs some type of kind of toning down this next patch, at least balance-wise. Tier A+, Uller A+, nothing's really changed with these. Vamana A+, Vulcan, Vulcan an A+. That's higher, I think, than I put him last patch. Shibalonki, I'm gonna put Shibalonki just for the pure amounts of damage. As a hunter, he doesn't really do that much apart from just like sheer damage. Late game, you're hitting for like fucking like 900 per auto, especially with if you have your buff from your 2 or whatever your like the enhancement, whatever it is, the proc. I think he does need some type of buff to his ultimate because his ultimate's fucking underwhelming. Like, if you're picking Shibalonki, the only reason you're picking him is for the sheer amount of damage he does mid to late game and having a global ultimate that can maybe do something for your team. Apart from that, there's not really too much reason to choose him over a lot of these other champions, or these other gods, currently at least the higher tier ones, but I'm putting him at an S. Jingtan, I'm putting an S, one of the better guardians in the game right now. Yamoja, I'm going to save that one for last. Zeus. Moving Zeus down to a B tier, gets doped by pretty much everything, does nothing in lane, gets pretty much delegated to tower duty on lane because he just has to sit under the tower and farm from under tower because he doesn't do anything. Gets pressured out and pretty much forced to stay under tower by all the other mages in the game. Emir, I want to put Emir actually at an S. I think Emir is right now probably the most solid, one of the more solid guardians in the game. Really solid right now. Zhonghui A+, nothing's really changed with him. Emoji, I know I'm going to have somebody in the comments, why ain't you putting Emoji at an SS, guys? Or why ain't you putting Emoji at an SS, right? Oh, Emoji's fucking broken, blah, blah, blah. I don't know about you guys, but every time I get an emoji on my team, they don't do anything apart from like feed, or they just stand in lane and just watch you die the entire game. They don't peel for you. They don't know what they're doing. They'll just sit and try landing stuns the entire game, and they don't do anything else. I'm not going to put her at an S. I'm not going to put her at an A or an A+. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to put her at an A tier. That's the tier list, guys. Keep in mind, Danzaburo is also an SS. I'd probably put him in the beginning here. So his icon is not here, but he is an SS tier. I explained at the beginning of the video. This is the list, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If there's some stuff you would change, there's some stuff that you don't agree with me on, let me know in the comments down below. Apart from that, hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want me to continue doing these type of tier lists, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and sharing the video really helps me out. I got some really cool videos on the way later this week, guys. Paladin Season 4 with Yaga is going to be going live on Wednesday. We got Rogue Company, new season going to be going, or Season 1 going to be going live on Tuesday. Got some more Smite content coming your guys' way. I'm just waiting for get some shit done, at least with myself, and get some time to go on and do some settings and get everything fleshed out. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in a future video.